everyone, how's it going? And welcome to yet another Unscripted Rant. So for those of you who have never watched these on the channel before, basically every Wednesday, at least or so as I try to, it hasn't been going too well, we talk about a certain topic about JToH and I share my general opinions and such. And because these are unscripted, that means that I am genuine, and that means I will sometimes stutter or I'll repeat myself and stuff. So yeah, this is not like the scripted videos like JToH Flawed or anything. This is just me having a couple points on my other monitor, and I go ahead and explain them as I go through. So I just have a little bit of a reference. So yeah, these videos may not be as clean, but they are definitely more genuine compared to my scripted videos where I already know what I want to say. So today, we are going to be talking about tower revamps, because this has been something that has been coming up quite recently, because throughout the past few months there have been quite a few towers that have been getting revamped, and hence when this happens there's of course always the community opinion and stuff. So I thought I would go ahead and address where I am on the spectrum. So basically where this whole story starts in terms of why there's been all this talk about revamps in the first place is actually a little bit after what happened with episode 1 of Bad Tower School. Basically, Paramox gave the JToH development team permission to go ahead and do some changes to tower traps. So pretty much tower traps got an update, revamp, whatever you want to call it, and that's what kind of started it. And then a little while later, Lightsynth wanted to go ahead and try to revive Tower of Mirrored Heck revamp, because he made his own revamp for Mirrored Heck. However, it didn't go so well, so he wanted to go back and try again. So he went ahead and did that and succeeded this time. So the Mirrored Heck revamp was placed into JToH, and only just a couple days later, the JToH update came out. And so at this point, with 3 towers getting changes within first areas of the game as well, getting updated fairly recently, many people were, just to say, a little bit colorful on their opinions. And this doesn't also go into the point as well that there was also the Thanos Tower update that Lightsynth also did. So there's been quite a few updates that have happened this year with quite mixed opinions. And one thing that definitely annoys me is that many people are blaming me for these revamps. Like for Bad Tower School, people were saying that the reason why Tower Traps was revamped, or updated, whatever you want to call it, was my fault. And, no. The people who are saying that, honestly, you are not very well educated. Like, I'm just gonna be straight up. The way revamping works in JToH is that you need the tower creator's permission. So basically how it works is that, say, oh, I don't know, Lightsynth wants to go ahead and revamp Tower of Heck, right? He needs to go ahead and get Oberyn's permission to go ahead and make a full revamp on it. And then he's allowed to. So these revamps aren't happening because Lightsynth is feeling like it. These revamps are happening because the tower creators are wanting these revamps to happen. And well, because we made, me and Lightsynth, the Bad Tower School and Tower of Traps, and then only a couple days later, the tower was put down for updates, many people were not happy at all. And people were saying, oh, Logan's trying to manipulate the community and such. It's like, no. Paramox literally gave Lightsynth permission to go ahead and make updates. So, people who are blaming me for these revamps, no. And another thing as well, is that JToH revamp, which is mainly an update as well, was conceived way earlier, like sometime in 2020, way earlier, before all this revamp stuff happens. It's just, it came to light recently because I finally had the time to actually revamp my floor inside of JToH, because I've been very busy recently. So of course, many people have been blaming me for this whole revamp, and the thing is, the community is very mixed on the whole revamp deal. You have people who are thinking that, oh, it's bad for the game that these classic towers are being revamped, and you got people who are thinking that they are very good. And so, I thought I would go ahead and talk about revamps and, you know, what I would want to go ahead and do with them. Normally I would talk a little bit more, but I thought I would go ahead and make this unscripted rant straight to the point, because I think this is something that is pretty important to talk about, and that's that, well, my support on revamps depends on the tower. And for those of you who have watched Bad Tower School 2, you would know that I am that I even said myself that it really depends on the tower. And I think the most important thing, in my opinion, is even though, say I don't want a certain tower revamped, if the tower creator gives permission to do it, then I think everybody in the community should be respectful. Because that is what the tower creator wanted with their own creation. And Seal Azulski has said in the comments for Bad Tower School Linophobia that Seal is himself, or whatever. I know Seal says stuff about the pronoun issue, but I don't fully remember what they said. I'm sorry. But anyways, so basically, Seal is like, yeah, you have my permission to revamp Linophobia. And even though I said in my video that, yeah, I do not support Linophobia revamp, I completely understand why Seal is in favor of it, and I completely respect his decision. So I feel like it's really rude of the community that for them to be like, oh no, this revamp, no revamp, even though the creators wanted it. And especially JToH update. Many people, when they heard, and I talked about this as well in the beginning of the JToH video, when many people heard that I was actually revamping my floor, many people were not happy about it. And honestly, that really got me upset. It's like, am I not allowed to do what I wanted? It's my only creation in game, and I thought it was really bad and not worthy. So I went ahead and redid it. And, well, clearly it's great because Lightsynth in his review said that, yeah, it's actually good. So personally, I would consider that a win-win, and I'm completely in absolute favor of that, you know? However, I do not think that modern towers that are in-game in, say, rings 7, 8, 9, and zones 3, 4, and 5 should be revamped. I don't think those towers should be revamped, because they fit completely fine with their areas, which gets me onto another point when I talk about revamps. The reason why I am always very careful about revamps and stuff is that the thing is, right, and this is perfect example of this is actually Mirrored Hack Revamp inside of Zone 1, right? Is there, a lot of the time these revamps do actually call for some very modern and brand new ideas. And this always is a little bit of a problem. Because if we're talking about, say for example, right, we're going to revamp, oh, let's just say for the kicks and giggles, Citadel laptop splitting. And then we have all these brand new crazy mechanics, and everybody in Ring 1 is going to be remarkably confused. And that's kind of what I've seen happen with Mirrored Hack Revamp. It fits okay with Zone 1, but it is definitely way more modern than everything else there. Sure, you have Tyranny, which was ahead of its time there, as well as Extreme Dystopia, but with the falling platform gimmick and such like that, Mirrored Hack really sticks out compared to the rest of the area. And I would even beg to argue that Mirrored Hack sticks out even more than what Toys was before. So there is that con to revamps, is that, in my opinion, really, if the tower creator wants a revamp, sure, but overall, I do think an update is the best way to go. However, when it comes to like areas that are, like I said, in Zone 3, 4, and 5, I really don't think those towers really need anything. The only tower that I would say that should be revamped in the later areas is probably Collective Collaboration. I believe that's what it's called. I've heard tons of bad things about that tower. And yeah, I think that tower could be revamped, and I think it would definitely be in of its best interests to go ahead and actually do get revamped. So basically, where I stand in terms of this whole revamp situation is pretty simple. It's that if the tower creator wants it, I completely respect it, but I think the best way to go about it is really updating the tower to make it better, kind of like what JToH has. It's getting updated, right? It's not revamped, and so it kind of keeps the same feeling. It fits well with the rest of the area, And overall, I think it just fits much better inside of an area. Because then, boom, you got what you wanted to make the tower better, but it also doesn't stick out like an insanely sore thumb as like very modern, kind of like what Mirrored Heck did. So yeah, it's kind of like my situation on Revamps is like that. But main reason why I wanted to make this video in the first place was so people didn't go ahead and blame me for the revamps, and that's not really true. That's actually far from it. But yeah, that's really it. Very short rant, I know, very simple, but I think this really gets the point across, and I thought I would go ahead and just go out there and talk about my own opinion on revamps. So what do you guys think? Do you think towers should be revamped? Do you respect tower creators' decisions when they go ahead and decide to submit revamps or updates or whatnot? I know this video is very short, but nonetheless, on Saturday, finally, Push to Terrifying 8 is coming out. And as well, if you join the channel and become a Tower of Stress member or higher, you'll be able to watch the video a little bit early before everyone else. So yeah, if that's not the only perk you can get, maybe the Tower of Stress tier is too expensive for you, which is completely understandable. You also have other perks that you can get for cheaper in the lower tiers. Join the channel by clicking the join button next to the subscribe button or the link in the description below if you're on mobile. And that's really it. Like I said, share your opinions on the whole revamp thing. I'm sorry this unscripted rant is not what you were really expecting. It's honestly very simple, just not much to talk about. So, well, have a good rest of your day, guys. See you later. Bye-bye.